Good evening. Thank you all for taking your seats. Welcome to the 2025 Homeless Persons Memorial Service, and thank you for joining us. We do this as close to the winter solstice as possible, the longest night of the year, which is in a couple days, but we appreciate all of you being here this evening. At this time, please join me in welcoming our County Executive, Dr. Calvin Ball, to share some remarks.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and thank you all for being here. I can't stay long because I have our first budget hearing for the upcoming fiscal year in a few minutes, and so I'm going to go back and hear from about 50 or 60 of our neighbors. But it was important for me to come here, not only to honor and remember those who we lost, but also to thank each and every one of you for ensuring that they aren't forgotten. All of the work that we do when it comes to housing first is focused on people first, making sure that every person who was homeless that we lost, we remember that was somebody's baby. That was somebody's father or mother or aunt, sister, brother. And I often think back to an early time as county executive when I went on a pit count and going through the neighborhoods for those point-in-time counts to engage with our homeless neighbors. I came across a gentleman, and of course his breath reeked of alcohol, and I talked to him, and he said, "I drink because I feel so ashamed. I don't want to be homeless, but I'm struggling and I'm suffering. And so I drink to null the pain so I can get through another day." Those of us who are in the fight to end homelessness know that oftentimes people who are homeless are either going through some major financial issue, some major health issue, or something co-occurring between mental health and substance misuse. Nobody would want to just not have a roof over their head or be around people who love them. And when we come here and we memorialize those we lost, hopefully we also reignite the flames of hope and the flames to move forward. And those who are out there tonight and on these cold winter nights, hopefully they know we're working for them. We care about them, and we will not stop until we create an opportunity where we end chronic homelessness. So coming here tonight isn't only about us coming together, but it's about us embracing past through those we lost, celebrating their lives here in the present, and creating a future that is a little bit brighter, a little bit warmer, and a little bit more full of love, with more people who have roofs over their heads. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Ball. And now we'll invite Mark Hoffman, Chair of the Coalition to End Homelessness.
As Kelly said, I'm Mark Huffman. I'm the new chair of the board of the Coalition to End Homelessness. And I wanted to begin with a quote from an email that was sent out just yesterday, I think, by the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Our faith in the mission to end homelessness is resilient and unwavering because we know that homelessness is solvable. Together, we've seen what's possible even amidst national homelessness and housing crises. We've seen communities reduce homelessness through proven solutions. We've seen people move from the streets into safe, stable housing. We've seen how, with the right support, people can indeed rebuild their lives. Yes, this work takes resources that, as we gather tonight, are increasingly certainly at risk. But this work takes more than resources. It takes a shared faith in each other, faith in our communities, faith in ourselves to keep going until every person has a safe place to call home. As most of you here may be part of the coalition, as you know, the Howard County Coalition to End Homelessness, it's a group of people who care about making sure that everybody in this community have a place to call home. It includes residents, service providers, organizations, and people with lived experience all working together to prevent and end homelessness in this county. The coalition does that by bringing people and organizations together to plan solutions, by raising awareness in the community, advocating for systemic change, helping individuals and families connect to housing and support services, and sponsoring services like this, remembering the importance of remembering that we're doing tonight. Anyone who wants to help address homelessness in Howard County is certainly welcome to do so, to join us. And you can do so by, Mark Slater put some forms in the back table, or he has them in his hand perhaps, but on the back. And you can fill one of those out and give them to Mark or to me. Also, soon you'll be able to go to the Howard County website and the Department of Housing and find places to do that electronically if you would like to, and certainly include friends and neighbors. Our goal is to have everybody in the county on the Coalition to End Homelessness. So, and now I'd like to invite, as we move into the, continue to move into the serious part of this conversation and this evening together, to invite Pat Murphy forward to share a recollection.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk a little bit about my journey through homelessness. What Calvin Ball did say tonight was, it is very, very hard. You feel like you're a label of a kind, that people look down at you. People look at you as being a homeless person. People might not dress like they should dress. They might look dirty. Well, that's how I felt. When I came to Howard County, I was so blessed. I think Howard County saved me, to tell you the truth. I came up from another county. When I was little, young, I had a beautiful family, 8 sisters, 3 brothers, and a mom and dad that were great. We were brought up in a Catholic church. I would walk down the street, look at people that are homeless, and I say, look at myself and say, man, I'm glad one day I'm not going to be like that. And it happened. It didn't happen because I drank, I did drugs. I didn't. There's other reasons. It could happen to anyone. People don't understand. People think people who are homeless are drugs and just alcohol. That is not true. I moved to Howard County in 2007. I was quiet. I didn't know how to do computers. I still don't. Terrible on computers. And I just kept everything inside me. I didn't look for no help. I didn't know anybody. So I moved to Howard County. Here I am, all alone. I lived in places to places. And then finally, the last place I lived, I couldn't live there anymore. The next thing I know, I'm at Columbia Mall. What am I going to do? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do now? God, I'm hungry. What's my next step? I did not know. I didn't know anyone, and I didn't like to ask. I didn't like to go for help. I just never did. I always wanted to try to do things on my own, and I found out that doesn't work. So I met a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. His name was Michael Molish. Michael Molish is over there. He passed away in July. We both did our journey together. He got me through the journey. He was homeless. I said, Mike, where do you live? He said, I live in a tent. I said, Mike, I have nowhere to live. He said, why don't you come with me? We lived off of 108 up there by Allview, across the street, that little circle. We had a tent, one tent, a little tent, just me and him. But it was better. It was a lot better than being on a bench, laying on the street. It was scary, but I did it. So we sat there. I'm in there at night. I didn't know what else to do. I said, Mike, how are we going to take a shower? Mike, how I got to wash my clothes? Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. So I remember on a Saturday, he said, get up, let's go. Give me a black paper bag, put your clothes, dirty clothes, let's go, we're taking a trip. We got on a bus over at the Dorsey Search. We ended up going down to the top of Baumheiser, walking down with a black bag on my back. We went to a place called the Day Center. I didn't know anything about the Day Center. Mike showed me the Day Center. I'm in line, and then one of my first angels came out to the door, Kathy Pite. I never forget that. Mike introduced me to Kathy. Kathy says, can you put my name? I said, can you put my name on the list for taking washing clothes? She was so nice to me. She made me feel like at home. She helped me with the clothes. She helped me with everything. She showed me around. And the next person I met was Melinda, my second angel at the time. So here I am, washing clothes, doing everything. A great meal, hot meal, shower, new shoes, new clothes. Oh, I felt so different. I felt good. That Day Center has helped so many people today, right now. It's helping so many people. I wouldn't know what to do without it at that time. So then I went to Melinda, and I said, Melinda, can I get a tent of my own? 2 days later, she called me and said, I have a tent for you. Oh, my God, I'm in the woods, scared. I'm hearing these raccoons outside. Getting up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom. Don't know what to do. Scared as can be. It's frightening. It's frightening at all. It's not like going camping. When you're up there all by yourself in a nice, dark place, you got thunderstorms, you got lightning. Get up in the middle of the night, you don't know what. So I remember my first experience was we had chicken, cold chicken, because we couldn't cook. I took the food. Mike told me, don't ever leave your food in your tent. Put it up in a tree outside. I woke up the next day, my chicken's gone, eaten up. I jumped on Mike so badly. Why'd you eat my chicken? She said, Pat, that was the raccoons. I said, oh, dude, I've got raccoons climb trees. But anyhow, get up the subject there. So now I've got my own tent. Next step was, what do we do in the wintertime? I went to Kathy again. Kathy says, a thing called cold winter shelter. Oh, blessed again. At that time, we went to churches, church to church. Every week we changed. We went to a church to church to church. I met the nicest people in the world. The volunteers were so good, so great. And my third angel, that was Doug Carl back there. Doug ran the cold winter shelters. He was the director at that time. I became a good friend of his. He was hard, but he was fair and he was good. He really helped a lot of us out. Tell you the truth, even today, right now, today, I'm with Doug Carl on Christmas morning and breakfast morning. He makes dinners and Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving and Christmas for about 4 of us. He cooks it. We all go together and we eat. So I met another person that was really cool, good to us. So in the cold winter shelters, going every week, going to another church, going to a church, going to a church. But we had fun. We had gift cards. We played games. We got to watch the Super Bowl. We had Super Bowl parties. We had a good time. Main thing is I had a roof over my head. All of us were we slept on the floor, but we slept on a mattress. Believe me, that's a lot better than sleeping in a tent. And it wasn't cold. The hard part was we had to get up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. We had to leave there by 6 to church. We had to go over to Columbia Mall and sit in there for 2 or 3 hours, wait for the buses to run. But again, I was blessed. At that time, I was going to a place called the Bain Center. I was volunteering there, doing lunches. And I met more people, friends of mine. I met Jeanette Joel, Lois back there, Jeanette Joel, and other friends of mine that were there. I would never met them. But when you're homeless, people, you know what I'm saying, you got to keep moving, you got to keep moving, you got to keep moving. Because the more you sit still and think about what you got to go through, it hurts. The pain is in your body. That's when you're homeless. Well, what do you do tomorrow again? But it's hard. You don't even know unless you go through it. But it can happen to anyone. And I can't tell you how much that is. All those people out there, 3 or 4 of us, we were all in the shelter together. Then one day in the church, one of the churches, here comes Melinda in. She says, we got a new place getting built. We want you to sign up. We're going to get you a new apartment, efficiency on your own. But to us, that was an apartment. To me, it was a house. It was a little teeny place, but it was our own. It was our own. Leola Dorsey. That's where the New Day Center is today. Howard County, again, something great. Howard County takes care of homelessness, takes care of the seniors. Oh, I get anything I want from Howard County. The housing department is great. People are great. Here's Leola Dorsey. Okay, 7 years. I've had my times there. I've had rough times there. But remember, 32 of us were homeless. Drugs, there was alcohol in there, everything in there. But there was also some great times. That's when I met a lady named Jeanette Powell, who was the director at the time. Today, just today, me and Jeanette still text each other 3 days a week. Every day, we text each other. Say hi, good morning, how you doing? She always checks up on me. Church people, the volunteers for the church, they still call me. How you doing, Pat? Let's go have lunch. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. I've met a lot of good people. Again, the quietness came out. If I didn't stay quiet, I would not be where I'm at today. After that, again, I met a lady named Jennifer. She was my caseworker. Volunteers of America, they were great with us there. They helped us a lot. My caseworker was my next angel. I wouldn't know what to do without Jennifer. Jennifer was so good. So Jennifer, what she did, she got me into housing. She got me my own place. You know, I'm not rich with money. I'm not rich with money, but I'm rich inside. I'm rich because I met good friends, good people that were there from this county. And I wouldn't be near where I am today. And I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. I met all these friends of mine. They're not just people who helped me, they're friends of mine that were there for me. I'm talking for me, I'm talking for Michael. Michael's on the same journey, and other homeless people. So my number of things is, you're going to be homeless for many reasons. Everybody has to know the difference of being homeless. Well, I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to just be here today. When I moved over to Madison, I wanted to be my church. I have a church over there. Kathy got me involved in my church. I got into God. I got into Jesus. I missed church. I never went to church before, but I really got into church. And I'm going to say thank God, because, you know, I met my pastor, Jenny, there. Pastor Jenny was my last angel. She just, during the COVID time, she would call me, how you doing, Pat? When Mike passed away, she called me, said, can I talk with you for about 15, 20 minutes? We talked on the phone. And I just love watching. Sometimes I watch it 2 or 3 times a week on TV. So I'm just saying, all you ones from here that were in my life, that helped me, I appreciate it, and I want to thank you all.
So now we're going to have a moment of meditation, a meditation about to help us, continue to focus and center ourselves here. And I'd like you to begin by just having us take a moment to make sure we're fully arrived in this place, in this space, to center ourselves in this time and in this place of remembrance. We come together today from many different paths, from many traditions, many ways of naming what is sacred and meaningful, what gives life purpose and direction. We gather not in uniformity, certainly, but in the humanity that we share with one another, and also with those who are sleeping in shelters or cars or hidden corners of exit ramps and other places not meant for human habitation. Today we remember especially our shared humanity with people who have died while experiencing homelessness, or who died after experiencing homelessness, yet years before they would have if they only had a roof over their heads, a bed to sleep in, a place to call home. We gather on this cold December night, remembering those left out by our society, literally left outside in the cold, trying to stay warm for too long, left outside for too long, for whom it is now too late. People whose lives were complex, whose stories were layered, whose worth was no less than yours or mine. Their worth not diminished by the circumstances they faced or the suffering they endured. We remember those whose names will be spoken here tonight, and those whose names are unknown, those who were part of our communities, and those who passed through unseen. Every of those lives mattered. And we are less than we could have been, we are less than we would have been, we are less than we should have been if they were still among us now. In this space, we allow ourselves to grieve. We grieve the loss of these holy and whole human lives. We grieve the suffering that accompanied so many final days, the cold, the hunger, the isolation, the fear. We grieve the moments when compassion was absent and when help came too late. Let us pause here, holding silence for those we remember today. As we sit with this grief, we also are creating space, hopefully, for compassion. A compassion that does not spend all of its energy looking for someone to blame, sure of whose fault it was or concerned about that. It doesn't matter if it was us or them or both. What matters is that these people matter. They mattered. That every person deserves safety, care, belonging. Every person deserves a place to call home. May this compassion extend to those we remember, to those whose lives we honor today, and to those who are still living without stable shelter. May it also extend to the many people today, the many service providers, advocates, neighbors here today, all who carry the weight of these losses, the friends, the family that Pat spoke so eloquently of. We cannot bring them back. We cannot right this wrong, but we can and we must, and we will and we do remember them. We can say with our presence here tonight that these lives were not invisible, that they were more than statistics, that they were worthy of being known, of being named, of being mourned. Let's take another breath together as we inhale we acknowledge our shared humanity. As we exhale, we release indifference and distance. As we inhale, we take to heart our responsibility to our neighbors in need. As we exhale, we let go of the fear that we are too few, that we have too little, that it is too late. For surely it is too late for some, for those we are remembering here tonight. But it's not too late for us, not too late for us to make a difference, too late for us to be the difference the world needs. Not too late for those who remain, those still living in places that are not meant for human habitation. Not too late to see and to share that there's no difference that matters between us and them. We are all beloved children of God, equally deserving of life, of hope, of help, equally deserving of a place to call our home. May this moment, this time, this remembering we're doing, may this moment deepen our awareness of the systems and the choices that we make that shape people's lives. May it strengthen our resolve to work toward justice and equity and care. May our remembrance tonight move us beyond this gathering into action that reflects our shared values. May we not leave this space unmoved or unchanged. May we carry with us the responsibility to notice, to listen, to respond, to create a community, a place where everyone has a place, where everyone belongs. As we prepare to continue this service, may we do so with both tenderness and courage, with faith and commitment. May the lives we honor and remember today remain present in our hearts, guiding our compassion, shaping our hope, inspiring our action. And let us close this time of meditation by holding one more moment of silence for those we have lost, and for those who are still with us, and for the world that we are called to build together. And let us pray, each in the way that feels most true to us. Heart of the universe, heart of all hearts, we gather today in remembrance of people who died as a result of experiencing homelessness. We honor lives known and unknown, lives that mattered and will not be forgotten. We grieve the loss of these human lives, the suffering endured, and we hold in care all who mourn, all who still live without stable shelter. May compassion guide our hearts, justice shape our actions, and this remembrance move us toward a world where every person is seen and valued and safe. We offer this prayer in many names, through many understandings, with hope and grace and peace for all. May it be so. And now I believe Kathy is going to come forward to share some special remembrances.
Now we get to the hard part. I'm Kathy Pyatt. I am the Community Resource Specialist at the Grassroots Day Resource Center at Loyola Dorsey. I kind of have two hats for our special remembrances because I'm also the coordinator of at New Hope Lutheran Church for our monthly meal at the Day Resource Center. And our first two remembrances are a husband and wife team from our church, Mary and Bill Thomas, both volunteers with us at the Day Center. Bill, when he retired from work, they would both work with our monthly meal and help prepare and come. When Bill retired from his job, he started coming on a more regular basis, 3 days a week, to serve everyone there at the center. And we really enjoyed having Bill there as one of our volunteers. Mary was our main cook for our meal, making cheesy eggs every month for us to serve, along with a lot of either hash browns or some other parts of her meal, and served every month that she could, and was doing it happily. They also had, because of their connections, they had a lot of different connections to our community that were not just related to their work at the Day Center. So we have two very special volunteers close to my heart from my church family, as well as my Day Center family as my volunteers. Our third remembrance is Jenny Wall, a Grassroots staff member. Part of Grassroots' mission is to serve the homeless. Jenny, very special lady. Sorry. She really, really connected with everyone, did street outreach, and tried to make sure everybody was connected to resources. And she had some kind of magic. I remember one of the things is she was able to find housing for a family of 9. That's really, really, really hard. It still is really hard. But when she finally found housing for that family of 9, we were all so ecstatic. All 3 of these people are greatly missed in our community at this point. I can't make much more out of this for this. So I'd like to very much remember all 3 of those. I do have pictures of all 3 in the back. I was able to find pictures of most everyone that we are remembering tonight, so that we not only say their names, we can also see and remember them. So those are our first 3 special remembrances. We also have 3 veterans who have died this past year. And to recognize them, George Delaney is here from American Legion Post 300, and he'll come forward now with the remembrances.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Why am I here? I'm here for the same reason you are all here. You care. You care about those less fortunate than yourselves. And you care because you know that it just takes a moment of kindness, listening, and careness to reach out to those people suffering from homelessness, hunger, depression, sadness, medical illness, all the things that plague humans as part of our life. But we can do a lot to make these situations more bearable, but we all have to play our role. I'm here to recognize 3 veterans who passed, and I'm going to read their names in a few moments, but I want to tell you a little bit about our American Legion and why we care about all people, not just veterans. The American Legion is the largest veteran service organization in the United States. We care for veterans. We care for active military, deployed reserves, and their families. We care for our communities. We serve our communities in many, many ways. I'm sure most of you are not even aware of the things that we do, and that's fine. But bear in mind, the American Legion is a crucial element of your community. And you can reach out to us if you have nowhere else to turn. You can call me, and I'll speak to you day or night. I don't care what time it is, 7 days a week. I'm here as a resource for our community. I got involved in American Legion actively, although I've been a member for 25 years. Got involved actively 6 years ago because I saw an organization that was stagnant. It was failing the community. It wasn't living up to our expectations. And I thought, rather than complain, I'm going to risk everything and make this a better, more relevant organization. When I inherited my first officer position as a 3rd Vice Commander, I decided we need to get more fresher members, and we were on the verge of going out of business, literally. We were getting 6 to 8 people of our 160 members at that time to come to a meeting. 6 or 8 members. And of course, there were reasons for that. We had nothing to encourage them to attend. So I made it my personal mission to build the Legion of the future, 1 member at a time. And that is still my mission. Since I took recruiting as my primary goal, 365 days a year, I have taken our membership from those meager numbers to just crossed over 400 members. Every one of those members I recruited personally myself. How did I do it? I spoke to people individually. I told them how they could serve again. I told them the need in the community for service, and that we were the ones that had to step up and fill that void. I'm proud to say that we have hundreds of people in our Legion serving and saving veterans and other people every day. We have 12 member-led teams that we don't tell what to do. They decide themselves how to do their missions. One team does nothing but 365 days a year. They call veterans and families in their community. And we discover people who need service, and we make sure they get it. We have another team that visits families who are in desperate straits throughout Howard County. And we bring them a meal, a hot meal, some laughter, some conversation. And most of all, most important, we listen to them. We listen carefully and listen for those clues that tell us what type of services do they need. I tell you tonight, I stand among giants in service of Howard County. I am totally humbled by what I've heard tonight from Commissioner Ball, from Kathy Camino, from Mark Hoffman, and from Pat Murphy. His testimony was absolutely mind-blowing to listen to that, the courage to tell that story in front of all of us tonight. How lucky are we? How lucky are we to be here and hear that? So we are doing our mission, and we are turning the corner and making a difference every day. And we thank the citizens of Howard County for your generosity and for your support of the American Legion, because without you, we couldn't do what we do. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us and helping us help you. At this time, I'd like to call our attention to the 3 veterans who we are here to remember. Humble men, for whatever reason, down in their luck, living the homeless life. And as was said many times this evening, some of us are 1 paycheck away from being homeless ourselves. It can happen. And if the world situation changes radically, or we go through a world event, whether through natural disaster or actually a war that comes to our own shores, We could all find ourselves in a homeless situation. So never forget, it can happen to us. So we must be prepared. And we must thank God that we have the health and the skills to be prepared. Because without God, without Jesus, is nothing. So let us remember Horace Bryant, Emmanuel Cole, and Guy Ruth, United States veterans, who took that oath one day in their lives to give their lives in the service of their nation, and they signed a blank check on that day they enlisted, not knowing where their career would lead them around the globe. And for some veterans, they pay the ultimate price to give us the freedoms and liberties such as we're enjoying tonight in this forum. So I ask you all to just contemplate the service that these veterans gave their country. They did get down in their luck. They ended up in a homeless situation, but they're no less a veteran or a hero than any of us who served. So God bless them, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of all the members of all the Veteran Services organizations in Howard County. The Veterans of Foreign Wars. We have 2 American Legion posts, one in Ellicott City, 156, and us in Howard County, Post 300, the Marine Corps League, and many other organizations that take care of our veterans and their families. But also, never forget, we take care of our communities. So let's take a moment of silence and think about the service of those 3 veterans and all veterans and the families who also serve. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening to me this evening. I thank you for all that you do and that you continue to do. And God bless Howard County. God bless the officials that are here this evening, helping us, looking out for us. God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
If I could have Isis and Melinda and Cheryl come forward, please. Now is our time for a remembrance of everyone. I don't know who's starting to light the candles. I'm going to read names. They'll light the candles. You want to? Okay. Donovan Bates. Christopher Brown. Horace Bryant. Emmanuel Cole. Brett Frazier. Jesse Harrison. Holly Johnson. Larry Mitchell. Mike Molish. Klaus Nickel. Dorothy Perry. Samuel Pilaf. Guy Ruth. Elizabeth Quill. Lisa Samuels. Wayne Simmons. Pete Smith. Julius Warren. Roy Woodall. Thank you. I have a moment of silence. Please keep your candles lit as, in a moment of silence, we have a musical selection by Liz Fixon from Kittamuckanee Community Church. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. So before we close out tonight, I'd like to say a few thank yous. First, to Reverend James, who could not be with us this evening. He is ill, but for offering us our space and for Columbia Baptist Fellowship. I'd also like to thank our musicians, Liz, Carl, and Lilia. Okay, good, Lilia. I'd also like to thank American Legion Representative Delaney for joining us this evening. Thank you. Pat Murphy for sharing your story. Mark Hoffman for sharing your message and for guiding our service this evening. I also want to thank Kathy Pyatt, Isis, Melinda, and Cheryl for lighting our candles, and Joni for ringing our bell. I also want to thank Julie Jones, our Day Resource Center manager now, and all the members of the Coalition to End Homelessness who helped us plan this evening and also who work with us every day all year long. And finally, I want to thank all of you who came tonight to remember those we have lost. If you are a friend or family member of someone that we lost this year, we invite you to take a candle home with you this evening to remember them. And most of all, we just want to thank all of you for taking your time this evening to come and share this evening with us. You had other things you could be doing, but you chose to spend your time with us, and we sincerely appreciate it. There are some light refreshments in the back if you'd like to have some, and as Kathy said, there are also some pictures of those that we have lost this year. And I want to thank all of you for coming. Good night, and have a happy holiday.
podiums and the beam up. All right. What is it, you stack chairs. Okay. The only chairs you need to stack, this section, and then the two back rows of this, this row and this row. Just from here to that, you don't gotta go further than this section. Oh, two sections. But just stop after this. Yeah, these two rows. These four. Yeah. What's that? There? Sorry, I thought
I was saying, actually, I want to just move this stuff.
Yeah, the problem, well, actually, if there's tech tables over there, then they can play all they want. I'm not blocking the fire door for no one. For anyone.
Might swing. I'm guessing no photos.